Steinhouse, and welcome to Money Chat Now. Money Chat Now is a politically charged stock market pre-show giving you the politics behind the biggest moves in the stock market. It is presented with comedic common sense by an expert in financial literacy, and hey, that's me, Larry Steinhouse. All right, today, of course, is Wednesday, April 13th, and I want to welcome you to the show. We're here live on WWDB Radio 860 AM in Philadelphia, and we are live on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. Hey, you can find me on Facebook, TikTok, on Twitter, and all the other social media sites by searching Larry Steinhouse. Just a reminder, if you're watching online, hit that like button, hit that share button. Come on, Charles. Come on, James. I see you guys watching. Hit that like button, hit that share button, and don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel and like the Money Chat Now page on Facebook. You can comment live during the show on YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, and Twitter, and please say hi so I know you're watching. Hey, by the way, if you're commenting from a group and it's not the Money Chat Now fan page on Facebook, your name may not show up on my dashboard. Please go to Money Chat Now page, hit like, and comment from there so I can recognize you. Money Chat Now is brought to you by Investor Schooling, and you can attend a complimentary class tomorrow by going to investorschooling.com, and there you will learn about real estate investing and stock options trading from those who do it every day. All right, real quick, a couple of people joined us, Tom and Bill, thanks so much. All right, today's show, I promise you that you will be laughing during today's show, so my suggestion is listen up. We're going to be talking about the futures update, we're going to be talking about ethanol, we're going to be talking about Dr. Czar, the Covid Czar. We're going to be talking about CNN Plus, nothing. And we're going to be talking about the Big Johnson files. All right, yesterday, however, was one of those, oh, come on, days. The Dow moved up at the beginning, and then it moved down about 200 points. At the end of the day, it came back a bit to close down about 82 points. It was kind of annoying and unnecessary. So what kind of led the rout? Well, the inflation report came in hot, you know, just like the White House prepared us for. If you remember yesterday, I told you that they sent out a release saying it would be extraordinarily high, and it was. This particular measurement of inflation, which is called the CPI index, came in at 8.5%. This was the highest inflation since the Reagan years. The CPI, or Consumer Price Index, measures goods and services such as food, energy, housing, and etc. And interesting, though, it was also kind of interesting that the fact that inflation only rose 0.3% from the prior month, which was actually less than 0.5% expected. So inflation was at the highest, but analysts expected it to be worse, which is kind of why the market didn't immediately go down. Sometimes, I don't know, Wall Street money managers need some, time to digest the reports, and sometimes euphoria just gets the best of them. Well, in this case, it may have been a bit of both. The report does indicate that inflation is slowing, and that was the good news. Now the market is trying to decide if the interest rate will either be 25 basis points or 50 basis points. You know, is the Fed doing enough by raising rates? I don't know. Is the Fed doing enough by slowing down the purchase of buying bonds? I don't know either. Well, you know, if they are, then Wall Street is happy. But remember, the Fed is also behind the curve. You know, that's kind of what got us in this predicament in the first place. If the Fed would have been looking ahead, you know, interest rates may have been rising or should have been rising the past 3 years. Yeah, maybe a slowdown during the scamdemic, but still, they should have been raising interest rates instead of, slowly instead of this now immediate raising rates. The next question is whether wages are going to go up to meet inflation or stay stagnant. If wages rise, then the inflation really doesn't exist. Think about that, right? Because the same dollar buys the same amount of food. If wages lag inflation, well, you know what that means. One of the big increases, of course, was airline fares. They jumped 10.7% in the month, and they were up 23.6% from a year ago. Look, I know airline fares jumped by 10.7% in a month and were up 23% a year ago. And I know it to be true because recently I purchased tickets for a trip and I found the price to be very high. Yeah, I fly first class and I can afford it. But yikes, it was high. In fact, it'll probably be the most expensive part of my trip. Delta Airlines, by the way, is just about to, or actually just reported earnings, and if the guidance says they can handle the increase by having passengers pay for it, it's going to be a good day for airline stocks and a good day for me. If it's a bad report, my American Airlines stock is going to tank. Delta was up a little bit yesterday, and American Airlines also hovered a neutral all day. Wall Street wasn't sure where to put their money on this bet. Of course, oil moved up over 100 again, and that could be a cause for the stock market to drop a bit as well. I, however, don't believe it. I think we're being played by the countries who produce the oil and will continue to be played until Trump gets back in the nut house and renames it back to the White House. Twitter and Meta both fell, and they were also up for a while too. I'm not really sure what's happening here, but I think the options on Meta are too high for the moment. I still believe that Meta will hit about 135 before earnings, but it's a tough call. Apple moved up even with the NASDAQ moving down. I actually like Apple as a play into earnings. It usually does well after earnings. CarMax delivered their earnings report after the bell yesterday, and the stock closed down about 10% when the used car sales company reported less than adequate earnings. This is another company that benefited from the scamdemic. However, I think it could remain a contender in the used car arena. They have great presence and great marketing. The stock is at its 52 weeks low for the past 12 months, and that could be troublesome. Before the scandemic, the stock would range between 60 and 80, and that makes me think we're headed back to the range once inflation cools down. All right, let's take a quick look at the market, and we can see that the Dow is up almost 140, the S&P is up 22, and the NASDAQ is up 99. All right, look, the Delta report is out, but I'm going to tell you about that later. Let's talk a little bit about ethanol. So this is just another story from the President Brain Dead files. Duh. What a perfect picture, right? We all know that this administration is all about saving the planet. No longer allowing oil companies to open up new drilling sites in America to keep the planet green. Besides the fact that we import our oil from other places that are drilling for oil, and the fact that it costs more to import the oil, and of course transporting the oil pollutes the skies by using transportation that use more oil to import the oil from countries because we're saving the planet by not drilling for oil in America, we actually had a law that prevented the sale of high ethanol containing gas because it polluted the planet, and now the ban is being lifted. Okay, I said a lot there. So let me go back and explain it so even Joe Biden can possibly understand it. Everything these idiots do is supposed to be with the end in mind of saving the planet, at least in their eyes. As usual, the devil is in the details. However, clearly, no one in this administration thinks the past or the next day or past they don't think past the next day or past their payoff by companies who are profiting from the ridiculous rules made by this administration. They just keep taking in the money anyway. Even a fifth grader could figure out that if we drill for our oil, it would cost less and pollute the planet less. Well, because the geriatric patient in the White House, decided to end our energy independence and then couldn't prevent a war, our oil prices are skyrocketing. Well, to solve this problem and to try to look good in the midterm elections, the Brain Dead administration, of course, is trying to do anything they can to lower oil prices. First, he released the oil reserves. This is a dangerous approach to lower gas prices, and if it backfires, it could leave the United States without any reserves in the event of a severe catastrophe. But now, in order to continue to try to lower gas prices, Biden has suspended a federal rule preventing the sale of higher ethanol blend gasoline. Now think about this administration and their ridiculous green movement, and now understand why a law to keep gasoline being mixed with no more than 10% ethanol was signed. Ethanol, by the way, which comes from corn, is a much more pollutant than refined gasoline. It pollutes more than gasoline. That means that the more ethanol you have in your mixture of gasoline, the more the environment gets polluted. Now Biden has said that he's going to allow an increase in ethanol in gasoline from 10% to 15%. So in order to save the planet from the greedy oil companies, Biden is doing everything he can to make sure that the greedy oil companies can keep making more profits by polluting the planet more by inputting oil from other countries and allowing more ethanol in our gasoline to pollute the planet, all just to look like he's saving the planet from pollution. I think I need to have less caffeine in my life, so I'm going to take a few more sips of coffee. I'm going to take another sip before I say hello to some viewers online. Hey, I want to say hello to Dan and Mark and Tom And looks like Vera, saying hi from Australia. Is that Austria? Wow. Thank you so much. I totally appreciate you watching. Boy, Lewis, and wow, so many people online today. Thank you so much. Jose, thanks for watching. I think I need another swig of coffee to lower my caffeine levels. Yeah, can I get more coffee here? I need less caffeine, so I need more coffee. That's the way they think. It's absolutely amazing. I can't believe it. All right, let's talk about something that we got going on here. We have blankness in my teleprompter. I think that means we're supposed to take a break. All right, we'll see you guys in about a minute or two. Investor schooling needs a new slogan.
Investor schooling? Never heard of.
Investor schooling?
Never heard of.
Investor schooling? Never heard of them.
Any suggestions? Phil?
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either.
Investor schooling. We never heard of you either. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
Welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse, and I'm drinking a lot of coffee because I'm going to cut back my caffeine, and that's the best way to cut back my caffeine is drink a lot of coffee. That's why we're going to less pollution into the environment by putting more pollution in the environment. Oh my God, these people are dumb. All right, if you'd like more information, of course, on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com, or you can call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hey, thanks for listening on WWDB Radio 860 AM, and if you're watching online, please hit that like button, hit that share button right now, because I got some really funny stuff coming up. Hit that share button. Everybody hit that share button. Come on now. Hit that like button. Let me know you're enjoying the show. And you can also leave comments on Facebook, Twitter, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And, of course, I will try to respond to them. Hey, my lovely wife is watching. Thank you so much, Linda. I always appreciate you and all the support you give me, the school, and all the students. Thank you. All right. So far, we've been discussing the futures, and right now, the Dow is up 113, and the S&P is up 17, and, of course, the NASDAQ is up 77. We talked about how dumb it is to pollute the environment to save the environment. Coming up, we have Dr. JHA, the Covid Czar. We have CNN plus nothing, and then we have the Big Johnson Files continues. All right. And, of course, we have today's picks and plays, but, of course, did you guys hit that like button yet? Did you hit that share button yet? Hit that share button. I promise you your friends are going to love what's coming up. Don't forget to leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, and YouTube. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, be sure and set a preset to this station and listen every day at 7:30. Also, look up Money Chat Now on Facebook when you get home, and let me know what you think of the show. Hey, real quick, before we start the second half, we all know a financial situation is coming, and the real question is it going to be a recession or a simple downturn? Well, if you want to survive through it, you should order my new book. Go to barnesandnoble.com and look up Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Money Hacks by Larry Steinhouse. Pre-order it, and I promise you will learn something. It has great reviews from the people who got an advanced copy of the book, and you're definitely going to learn something, and it's going to help you make more money. I definitely guarantee it'll be the best $20 you will ever spend. All right, let's get into the second half. Hello? Hello? Is there a doctor in the house? Hello? Is Dr. Fauci home? Hey, does Dr. Fauci live here anymore? Hello? Knock, knock. Is there a doctor here? Hello? Well, meet Dr. Ashish Jha. He will be your new doctor. What happened to Dr. Fauci? Never mind his opinion. This is Ashish Jha. He will be handling your COVID concerns from now on. That's pretty much what happened to the patient suffering from PTSD named America. Did you guys even know that we have a new leader in the COVID response team? That's right, Dr. Ashish Jha is the new leader in the COVID response team. Hello, Dr. Fauci? Dr. Fauci, are you still there? Well, Dr. Jha says the following about the newest variant. By the way, it's no longer called the scary Omicron variant. Oh! It's now called the BA.2 variant, which should really be called this has all been BS variant. Well, he said this on NBC broadcast, Dr. Jha. He said, I'm not overly concerned right now. Not overly concerned. That's it? All the lockdowns, forced vaccines and masks, Philadelphia says they're going to reinstate mask mandates, and the president is still deciding if he's going to lift the mask mandate on planes? This is what you have to say? Not really concerned about the BS variant? Really? Well, this is what I have to say to you, Dr. JHA. Welcome to the club, Dr. JHA! At least someone with his opinion in the ear of the dictator in charge agrees with the rest of the normal people when he says, I'm not overly concerned right now. So what do you think Dr. Frodsky says? You know, to try and regain or keep any credibility he has? He said, COVID is not going to be eradicated, and this is not going to be eliminated. And then he added, we're just going to have to live with some degree of the virus in the community. No, Dr. Frodsky. Now step aside and, like most elderly Americans, let the Indian doctor do his stuff. We don't need you anymore. We now have Dr. JHA, the Covid Czar. Yay! All right, this is a really good time to remind you about an event we're having in Bucks County at the Washington Crossing Inn called the Freedom and Finances event. So some of you guys have asked me why I'm mixing politics with finances. Well, the past 2 years have shown me, maybe for the first time, how important the right people in the right political seats are. When we have cowards and dictators like Governor Wolf in PA and Murphy in New Jersey destroying the lives of business people and the lives of children with mask mandates, you know, we're going to have to stop it, right? We just have to stop it. Well, look, I'm not running for office, but at least not at this time. But I will be having as my guest someone who will be running for governor of PA, Doug Mastriano. With every conversation and every Facebook Live post that I've seen of Doug, he is the man who will make sure this never happens to us again. And that's why I invited him to come. I'm also honored that he agreed to come. Another freedom fighter from across the bridge, Bill Spadia, will be there as well. He's very well connected in politics. So why bring these guys to an event that's usually just about finances? Because you can have all the money you ever need, but if the government restricts your movement and other freedoms, what are you going to do with all that money anyway? Also, we'll have other great people there as well who will be teaching you how to invest in real estate, the stock market, apartment buildings, and we will teach you how to find all the money you will ever need for a deal you will ever find. Hey, look, we actually had it sold out, but we convinced the Washington Crossing Inn to give us additional room, so we have 25 more seats left. So if you haven't signed up for this all-day event on April 24th, you need to RSVP now before it's all sold out. Go to 4mmw.com, and definitely sign up now. You're really going to enjoy it. All right, let's talk about CNN Plus. Hey, how many streaming services are you enrolled in? Me, I have Paramount, Netflix, Hulu, Showtime, NBC, and I kind of still have my Disney Plus for the moment. Remind me to cancel that one, by the way. I like Mickey and Minnie, not Mickey becoming Minnie. Anyway, there's a new streaming service out there, and I'll bet you can't wait to sign up for it. That's right, for just $5.99, you too can subscribe to the wonderful new Communist News Network Plus. Yep, CNN Plus is now out there. All day and all night long, the same program. You know, the same programs like Orange Man Bad, Send Trump to Jail, or my favorite, Hunter's Laptop is Fake. You will get some talented show hosts like Casey Hunt from NBC News, or the traitor, Chris Wallace from Fox News. They will entertain you with the constant, I hate Trump nonsense. And you can go to subscribe right now. Go subscribe. Go subscribe. Not going to do it? Well, apparently you aren't the only one turning this down. Apparently this effort is a big flop for the Communist News Network. They are averaging less than 10,000 views and have very few signups as compared to the launches of other streaming networks. I think it's even possible that I may actually have a bigger audience. Well, maybe I don't. But it's your fault because you didn't share this. Hey, listen. After all, those guys have big budgets. They have billions of dollars to spend on advertising, and all I have is you, my loyal listeners, to help me get the word out there. Now go tell your friends to watch and share this information on social media, and watch every day, or I'm going to replace it with clips from the CNN Plus network. Oh yeah, by the way, getting back to CNN Plus, this is such a failure for them that they aren't even releasing the number of subscribers. CNN, the free channel that comes with your cable, has been losing viewers every month as they repeat the same message day after day, which is, it's Trump's fault. It's Trump's fault. So don't forget, for $5.99 a month, you can hear the same crap and pay for it every day. Hey, instead, I got a better idea. Why don't you guys listen to me instead? All right, let's talk about the Big Johnson. Hey, do you guys remember the parody I did on the fact that Boris Johnson was a Big Johnson for attending a party during COVID? In this parody, I mentioned that, like the other Big Johnson dictators in the world, the Big Johnson had made gatherings of more than 2 people illegal, to avoid the spread of, well, I think it was coronavirus. But then again, we are talking about the Big Johnson, so it could have been, nah. It was coronavirus, I'm sure of it. Anyway, the Big Johnson acted like a Big Johnson when he violated his Big Johnson rules by attending a party of 100 people or more, while his subjects locked at home, possibly playing with their own Johnson. Well, the Big Johnson was fined by the police after a long probe into the annals of the records found that the Big Johnson was indeed a Big Johnson by attending this party. I was curious to see if the fine amount was disclosed, but apparently it was tucked under to avoid embarrassment. Well, the Big Johnson may have lost some of his re-election ability with this fine and his voyeurism. But then again, he was the first leader of a country to drop the mask mandates, so even with the Big Johnson unprotected, I'm still a fan. All right, let's take a break here, but wait a minute. Do we have a condom commercial or something to play? Oh, I guess we just have the regular investor schooling commercial. All right, play it.
Investor schooling. Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling? Those guys are everywhere.
Investor schooling.
Those guys are everywhere.
Investor Schooling. Those guys are everywhere. Register for a free class at investorschooling.com.
All right, welcome back to Money Chat Now. I'm your host, Larry Steinhouse. And if you'd like more information on investor schooling, you can go to investorschooling.com or call 866-424-2829, 866-424-2829. Hopefully we'll see you tomorrow night because it's great. All right, so far, of course, we've been discussing the futures, and right now the futures are up. The Dow is up 85, the S&P is up 13, and the NASDAQ is up 67. Hey, we talked about ethanol and what a waste it is to try to solve the problem of, global warming by poisoning, whatever. I don't even want to get into it anymore. We got into Dr. JHA, the Covid Czar, and he's my possibly new hero. I don't know. We talked about CNN Plus. Who cares? And, of course, we talked about the Big Johnson. Hey, a couple of people online said that was pretty funny. If you liked it, don't forget to share it. Let other people see it. So coming up, we also have today's picks and plays. But first, did you guys hit that like button? Hit that share button. Let everybody listen to the Big Johnson report. That was pretty funny. Let everyone know what great stocks are playing by sharing this information. And you could share it to your page or in groups that you will feel will benefit from the great stock plays. And, of course, you can leave comments on Facebook, LinkedIn, Twitter, and YouTube. And if you're listening on WWDB Radio, set one of your presets to this channel and listen every day at 7:30 for all you need to know about the politics behind the market. All right, let's talk about what's going on. All right, hopefully the market is going to act like it's on Viagra today after today's earnings report. Sorry, I guess my head is still wrapped in the previous segment. All right, getting back today, as we said, we have J.P. Morgan's earnings report, but I don't know. I actually have seen mixed reports whether they're actually going to show the J.P. Morgan's earnings today. Anyway, we have Delta's report. We're going to talk about that in a minute. These are the only catalysts to help the market. Not only the earnings reports, but the guidance are going to be the most important thing here. Bank guidance and the guidance of how many flights and how they will handle the flights will be the important guidance of Delta Airlines and whether the stocks are going to pop today. All right, let's talk about real quick. Delta did report, and the guidance was great. Yay! All right, I'm going to like my stock options account today because AAL is going to move up really well. All right, other plays into earnings season should include Meta and Apple. I like these plays because they have predictability as earnings approach. Most of the time, Facebook goes down after earnings, and most of the time, Apple goes up after earnings. But as we hit earnings, they both go up. So be careful. Watch for this. Tomorrow, we're going to have other banks report as well, and we're going to look forward to seeing the pump in the market. A final look at the market right now. The Dow is only up 55. Ooh, that's not good. The S&P is up 9, and the Nasdaq is up 53. I don't know what happened, but that was a quick shift, wasn't it? I mean, it wasn't 2 seconds ago that the Dow was up over 100. So I don't know what happened. I'm gonna have to look into that and find out. Now look, Bitcoin is still hovering below 40,000, and I said before I'm waiting for 30,000 before I think it'll be a play. Shiba. So all you guys who are into Shiba was finally trading on Robinhood app. They finally released on a Robinhood app, and the coin moved up a little bit. But I think the hype is gone. If it would have happened about 4 months ago, it would have been great. It would have been what the hoodlers wanted. Now it's just probably too late, and I don't really think it's going to move much more. So it's a shame because that's basically what everybody was waiting for. Gold and silver are also creeping up quietly. Look, this is when they move up and stay up. I expect gold to maintain over 2,000 and silver to maintain over 28 an ounce very shortly. 2,500 an ounce for gold and 35 for silver are not far into the future either. I would definitely expect this to happen. The Treasury bond is hovering around 2.75%. I'm actually wondering if that moved up, and that might be what happened to the market. We're going to find out in a little while. Oil is above 100 again. Hey, Biden, get that Ethanol and empty the reserves. We need to lower prices by the midterms. Oh wait, I think Pelosi just took over my mind. All right, I want to thank you and all the listeners on WWDB Radio at 8:60 a.m. in Philadelphia, and I want to thank you for your continued support. If you're enjoying the show, please reach out and let us know. My name is Larry Steinhouse. I'm the host of Money Chat Now. I'm also the CEO of Investor Schooling, and I want to let you guys know, of course, that from time to time, I own some of the assets and options discussed in this show. The opinions discussed in this show are solely mine, and no one has asked me to discuss them. I keep saying this, and some people have asked me not to discuss them. In fact, some of the other hosts on WWDB are running away because they don't like the fact that I'm on this show. So they're asking me not to discuss them. Ha, too bad. Hey, I'm looking forward to seeing you again. I'm looking forward to seeing you at the Finance and Freedom event. And I want you all to have a profitable day.